Our Catholic faith is a mystery, an explosion of wonder, of awe, of how could this be? God in the flesh, laying in a manger. God in the flesh, dying on a cross. God in the flesh, reposing on an altar. The mystery of faith. But the very church which proclaims that faith can herself be at times a mystery of a different kind. A mystery of iniquity, of scandal, of how could this be? A cry not of wonder or astonishment, but of sorrow and pain and disappointment. To be honest, I had prepared a totally different homily for you guys this week, and I was really excited to give it to you. Finished it early in the week and I had it all ready to go. And then I turned on the news on Thursday, and I saw the news about Cardinal McCarrick, one of the highest-ranking clerics in the United States, who's been accused on multiple credible accounts of abuse against minors, seminarians, and priests. For decades, he used his power to prey on the most vulnerable, on those who were entrusted to his care. At that moment, I knew that I had to change my homily. And to make matters all the worse, literally as I was reading about this on the internet, I got a call from another person who was very understandably upset, shooken, and angry about the situation because, as the president of the USCCB himself wrote in a letter to the public, the greatest scandal of this is not just that it happened, but that it didn't come to light so long ago when it should have, when those who were responsible about it didn't speak up. And when this person called me, they said to me, "This is the problem with you guys. You guys." And that's when it hit me. Even as a baby priest, I am no longer separated from the scandals of the priesthood. I'm a part of it. I'm associated with it. I was sick to my stomach. Because it's one thing to be weak. We're all weak. We all fall short of the glory. But it's another thing entirely to be malevolent, to intentionally prey on the vulnerability of others. Cardinal McCarrick was malevolent. Every predator priest is not weak. They are malevolent. And the thought came to me at that moment as a newly ordained priest, how can you allow yourself to be associated with that kind of malevolence? As I went to pray, my answer came to me in this church in the form of a memory. Growing up, I wasn't interested in the Catholic Church. It meant very little to me, besides an hour on a Sunday. And even more than that, the thought of being a priest never even entered my mind. It was never on my radar. Until one night changed it all. It was the first time I came to understand that Jesus Christ is truly present in the Holy Eucharist. I was 18 years old, student at the U of I, losing my faith fast. And another Catholic began to witness to me and tell me many things. But when they told me that Jesus Christ is truly present in the Eucharist, that he's really there, body, blood, soul, and divinity. Something clicked within me. I don't know if I'd never heard it before, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But it hit me now. And I jumped in my car right away, and I drove to St. Mary's Church. It was late at night. All the lights were off. It was empty, except for a little light over the golden tabernacle in the back. For the first time in my life, as I entered that church, I looked at the tabernacle. For the first time, I saw it for what it was, for who it was. And slowly I began to walk down the aisle, my eyes fixed on Christ as if it was the first time I was ever seeing him. And as I was walking down the aisle, an image came to me, an image I had never before contemplated. It was from the movie The Passion of the Christ, that moment when Veronica sees Jesus Christ laying on the ground, totally bloodied and bruised and broken, abandoned, laying by his cross. Their eyes become totally fixed on one another as she's walking towards him, surrounded by chaos. But all they see is one another. She falls on her knees before him, and she takes the veil from her head, and she extends it out, and she says, "Permit me, Lord." As if to say, permit me to console you. Give me that honor. And he takes the veil from her hands, and he buries his face in it, as if trying to hold on to that moment of repose and rest for as long as he can. As I approached the tabernacle, that image so strong in my mind is burning. I genuflected for the first time in my life to Christ, with my eyes on the ground. And her words echoed in my heart. And I said to Christ, "Permit me, Lord." And as I knelt before him, I felt him take my heart and bury his face in it, just like he did with Veronica's veil. That was the beginning. That gaze, that encounter. That's why I'm Catholic. That's why I'm a priest. And that's why I'll never be ashamed to be either. Even now, especially now. If the only thing I ever do in my priesthood is offer Jesus Christ a place to rest his broken and bloodied face in the midst of the chaos that surrounds us, if that's the only thing I ever do with my life, it's worth it. It's in times like these when all of us can and must re-examine our fundamental convictions. What keeps you coming when scandals arise? Because scandals will always arise. The mystery of iniquity will always be with us. But so will another mystery, a much greater mystery. And every time we come and we gather here together in this church, Jesus Christ himself comes to meet us by no other means than transforming bread and wine into his own body and blood, soul and divinity. That is an explosion of wonder, of awe, of how could this be? That is the mystery of faith.